So over the past few weeks, I've had a load of questions surrounding Ramadan and how that affects people living here in Dubai and the UAE. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight of what it's like living here during Ramadan and what we can and can't do. But just bear in mind, this is my thoughts and opinions coming from a non-Muslim who's lived here for 5 years. But first of all, we're going to step outside. So Ramadan is actually the 9th month of the Muslim calendar, and it is a whole holy month dedicated to fasting and spending time with your friends and family and reflection. And as you know, the UAE is a Muslim country, so follows the holy month of Ramadan pretty closely. But over the past 5 years, it's changed quite a lot. I think this has a lot to do with tourism and how Dubai is becoming a year-round tourist destination, as well as the holy month of Ramadan actually moving into peak tourism season. This year it's actually starting in March and carrying through to April, which is known to be quite a busy time for tourism in Dubai. So what do I mean by that? Basically, about 5 years ago when I was first living here, it was a very different place. It was very strict, no eating in public, very strict, no chewing gum, smoking, all of this stuff, which is still kind of the case, but it's very, very relaxed now. I remember the first time I went into a mall during Ramadan, it was the middle of the day and all the restaurants were closed. I had nowhere to eat and I was very confused. But now that is a thing of the past. Sometimes they have curtains or boarding over the food court, but the food court's still fully operational, and in a lot of cases it's just open as per normal. But of course there's dedicated places to be eating. So that's one thing I've seen change pretty drastically over the past few years. It's now much more relaxed when it comes to food and drink, but obviously it's best to be in mind to be respectful to those who are fasting. Now in terms of fasting, it starts in the morning as soon as the sun has risen, and it ends as soon as the sun has set. And this is normally based around 2 meals. So the first meal is sahur, which is in the morning, and then you go for iftar to break your fast in the evening. Now iftars aren't just for Muslim people. I normally get invited to quite a lot from my friends over here, as well as work events or anything really. It's a really nice sociable event where you all break fast together, even those people that aren't fasting. You wait alongside everyone and then you all have your meal at the same time. I think it's normally around 6:45. That time changes every day as the sunset changes. But definitely get yourself to an iftar. It's a really nice sociable experience, and there's a lot of great deals and offers alongside that with really great buffets. I can guarantee every restaurant in Dubai will be doing an iftar, which is normally a really big buffet with lots of traditional Arabic food, which is amazing. So definitely get yourself down to one, and if someone invites you along, make sure to attend. It's a really nice sociable way of meeting with everyone, whether it's outside of work or to meet new people and new friendship groups. Another amazing thing about this time is it's really encouraged to spend time with friends and family, and also if you're Muslim to pray. So because of that, they actually reduce the working hours across the UAE by 2 or 3 hours depending on where you work, which is amazing. Now it's also said that Ramadan is a time to be charitable, so you do see a lot more charitable acts happening. I always remember this moment where I was driving through Mirdif during Ramadan and there was a cleaner on the side of the road sweeping up, and I saw 3 Nissan Patrols behind each other, each handing 100 dirham, because it's Ramadan and it's nice to be charitable and look after each other, which I thought was a really nice thing. I bet he made a lot of extra money standing on that corner that day. Now another thing to note is actually the driving can get a little bit crazy here because everyone's in a rush to get to iftar, especially if you've been fasting all day. I've noticed that the driving gets a little bit chaotic, so I try and avoid driving during those times. Now drinking, clubs, tourism, all of these activities that are going on. This year it seems like every activity is still going on. All the best tourist locations are still open. If anything, they're doing promotional offers where it's cheaper to go to these places. Even bars and clubs are still open and serving alcohol, so there's no need to worry about that. I do know a couple of clubs are closing, which they normally do over summer anyway to do refurbishments and things, so just maybe check before heading there. But alcohol is served, food is served, tourism is well and truly alive and kicking here, even during Ramadan. Which is very interesting because eventually Ramadan is going to coincide with sort of like Christmas period in December, so you can really see how the UAE is just moving forward with Ramadan. Another great thing is the malls are actually open a lot later. On the weekdays they're open till 1 AM and on the weekends they're open till 2 AM, and that also coincides with huge Ramadan sales where if you're going to buy something, now is the time to do it because there's crazy deals on electronics in the mall or even cars. I've seen it all, so definitely if you need to shop, now's the time to do it. Now as I was saying about iftar and the sun setting, it's normally signified by a cannon being fired, which I've seen a lot at Atlantis Hotel on the Palm. It's a cool little thing to go and see. You see all the officials standing there, they launch the cannonball to signify it's now time to break fast. So that's a cool little thing you can go and see. I think there's a couple of them around, so maybe check that out as well. Also, while making this video, I found a really interesting fact. When a Muslim astronaut goes into space, they follow the timing of the last location they were at on Earth, because in space you don't really have the moon sighting to to follow. So anyway, interesting fact. And finally, just a couple of things to do. I'd highly recommend going to Global Village. They go all out for Ramadan, and they have some specific entertainment for Ramadan. They have an Arabic orchestra, which seems quite cool. And at 15 dirham, it's well worth going and checking out alongside their Majlis. I also know Expo are doing a lot this time. There's loads of entertainment and things happening there, as well as restaurants being open. But apart from that, the questions I was getting was like, is it normal life here? And it really is. It's changed over the past few years, because I do think a couple years ago it was very different. It was very much everything went very, very quiet in Dubai, but right now it's alive and kicking. So if you're coming on holiday, it's still worth coming. If you live here, it's pretty much normal life, which I think is a good thing. Obviously, just be respectful of everyone that is fasting and adhering to everything that comes with Ramadan. It's a really nice time of year. Get involved. Go to an Iftar and learn a little bit more about the Muslim religion. I learned so much over the past few years. Or if you're really going for it, try fasting. I've tried it before. I'm really not that good at it, and I have a lot of respect for these guys that can do it for a whole month. But speaking of the whole month, let me go and point it out on the calendar to you. So this is actually our calendar, and we've put little green dots along where Ramadan is happening this year. I'll show you. Ramadan this year starts on March, maybe the 22nd, maybe the 23rd, maybe the 24th. The thing is with Ramadan is it's depending upon the moon sighting. We're waiting to find out, and then that will take us all the way through the beginning of April, the last sort of weekend of April. So yeah, that's basically it. That's a little bit of a roundup of what it is like in Dubai during the Ramadan period. If you guys like the video, definitely stick around, because we're going to be getting up to loads of fun activities during Ramadan and making the most of some of those deals I mentioned earlier. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys somewhere in Dubai next time. Boom.